Good morning, everyone. It's 7:30 a.m., so hopefully you're up and having your coffee, maybe getting ready for your work day. I do have a free money masterclass coming up. It's actually called Heal Money Blocks, so I have a 4-week program coming up starting May 30th. I also have an early bird special, so if you book in before the 23rd, then you can get a free 50-minute session with me, which will be great to kind of get you in that mindset. I would say early, so as soon as you sign up, you can take advantage of that. So you can either do that like midway through the class or ahead of time, however you choose to do it. But I do recommend, based on the energy that I'm feeling, if you're signing up, book in your free session early. So book in before the 23rd to get a free one, and then also book that in before you get into class and kind of get a head start. Okay, so we're going to be doing 4 calls. If you're joining our program, I have 4 spots available, so I keep putting 4 into my reading here, and 4 represents relaxation, success, things like that, people who kind of need a vacation. So what's nice about this program is we're going to be really focusing in on balance, basically, how we can improve our relationships, your sex life, your relationship with your family, obviously your partner if you have one, maybe you don't have one, maybe that's something you want to bring in. But a big thing is when it comes to money, we feel quite insecure about money often because it's not something that we talk about. So you might feel like you're in a lack mindset. And these are the things that we're going to discuss tonight in the masterclass. So this is where we get to bring in all of our fears in relation to maybe why we can't afford this program, or maybe like where your money fears come from. So it could be that you hoard money. You might be one of those people who just feels like we're going through a pandemic and I can't spend. I need to retire. I need. And you can almost feel this desperation of I don't have, I need to save, that sort of thing. So this is definitely not being in the flow of abundance. So again, we're going to work on, in the actual program, rituals weekly, which are essentially like little magical things that we do to put out the energy that we desire. So we're releasing things that no longer are serving us, and we're putting out energy that we want. So me, as a theta healing practitioner, I'm going to be doing, of course, theta healing downloads for you. If you want to know more about theta healing, just go to my blog through horsemanreadings.com. If you want to just sign up for the free masterclass so you can get a little bit of a feeling of what I'm talking about, absolutely, I'm going to put the link in the comments. Actually, I feel like I should do that right now, so just bear with me, just so I have it there. It's really early. I'm not normally on this early, but I'm starting to be a little bit of an early bird, which is great. I've got lots of work to do today. There. I don't know how to pin a comment. Pin a comment! Oh my god, I just figured it out. Wow. Mind blown. Okay. So my free masterclass that I did, number 1, I think I had 15 people signed up. I don't know how many actually ended up coming. I do appreciate people that say that they're coming to actually come into the class. Otherwise, just cancel your spot. That way it gives me a better feel for the energy and the amount of people that we have. I just find that it's respectful to do that. However, obviously, sometimes things happen, right? If you have an issue getting the Zoom link, just give me a quick message, because I do like to wait for people to come in before we get started. Sometimes I want to start on time, and other times I'll wait, okay? So in this scenario tonight, I do want to wait for the people that say that they're going to show up. So we'll give you guys like an extra 5 minutes in case you can't find the Zoom link, so I'm not distracted when people are having technical issues, okay? Because you're not bothering me. I'm not like a strict schedule person. This is also going to be recorded so that the people in my membership group, there are 3 levels, and any level in my membership group, they'll get access to this. And then it'll be underneath my meditations for people that want to take advantage of the theta healing. The first masterclass that I did, going back to that, I find when I don't have my coffee, I'm all over the place sometimes. Still working on that grounding in the AM. But the first masterclass, we did a ritual. say hello if you're hopping on. Also, I'm going to pull up some cards for anyone in relation to money as well. So if you have a specific question in relation to money, bring it in. Otherwise, I'll give you a general message. And I would love to hear, what do you do to bring in abundance? Do you do your own rituals? Do you do affirmations? Do you do gratitude? If so, let's hear about it in the comments. I would love to see. I just figured out how to pin a comment. So free masterclass that I did, number 1, again, that's underneath the membership group through meditations. You can see that if you're already in there. It's $11 a month to join. Cancel at any time. But there's tons of good theta healing in there. There's a dream workshop, a meditation workshop, my Center Yourself program. So that's like 4 hours worth of theta healing downloads for people that are more in that starting stage of learning to speak their truth, learning to balance their chakras, just simple things like that. Also, if you're a beginner in my membership group, you get to, so any level, you get to email me anything that you would like healing or support on. And so basically what you would like theta healing clearings around, or if you're in the VIP, things that you would like to start learning as you develop more skills and tools by being a part of like the Reiki training, the Akashic Records training, and things that are in there. And of course, all the past classes and recordings and stuff like that. You get to email me and say like, okay, currently I'm feeling like I'm totally drained energy-wise. I don't know how to keep my energy up and maintain it. So you could literally just email me through horsemanreadings@gmail.com. Just say, I'm super drained right now. I'm struggling with how to keep my energy levels up. I feel like people take my energy. I feel like there are emotional vampires around me, a lot of toxic people, etc. That's all you need to say. And then I don't respond to your email, but when I go to do the content, I go back depending on which level you are, and then I look and see what people have emailed me, and then I create my content based on the things that you need support with, which is amazing, okay? I don't know if I'm going to do that email support forever, depending on how things go, but right now it feels really needed for my people, so that's why I added that in. Also, if you want to be underneath my spiritual support team, that is a new Facebook group that I have. That's where I might go live, I might do just some discussions, I might do some posts to motivate you guys. So I currently posted in there my weekly reading that's underneath my lives through YouTube. Just kind of talking about, it's like a card pull, 1, 2, 3, just talking a little bit about the energy for the week. And then I asked you guys, what intentions are you setting? And then I just put some I am statements as an example of kind of things that I'm putting out there. So I do feel like at the beginning of the week, it's good to put good energy out there for ourselves and then reflect back to see how that went. So that's actually one of the things that we're going to be doing in the 4-week program is we're going to be doing group goal setting. So one thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be pulling out cards, which tonight I'm actually going to get a chance to do the weekly reading for the group. So that'll give you guys an example of how I do, roughly how I do and structure my weeklies for a specific group, okay? So what we'll do is we'll first start off with gratitude. I'm just going to write that down. So the first masterclass, going back into that, we did a money ritual, okay, which is just like, we just put some coins and water with some salt, blah, 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 okay? We're going to be doing that each week when we're in the program. But then we also did theta healing downloads around everything that everybody was working on goal-wise and also their blocks. So I did my best to go through, because we're a bigger group. In this class, we're only going to have 7 people. That's my max, because I'd like to keep it intimate, because in the bigger classes, what happens is by the time I get to everybody and go through the energetics, it doesn't give us much time in 1 hour. So we went 1 hour and 15 minutes in the first masterclass. So my goal is, it might be the same tonight, so just prepare yourself for that. I always, in my masterclass now, do an offer at the end as well. So if you choose to hop in, I'll throw in something for you, which is nice just to get you to take advantage of the here and now moment. Last time I made that available for people for 48 hours. And yeah, so then that way you can kind of like feel into the energetics of where you're at financially, and also just processing the masterclass. I've gotten lots of great feedback from that. A lot of people have noticed cool things coming in. Somebody sold their vehicle that they've been wanting to sell for a while, so they're now seeing that heaviness leaving. In the masterclass, we talked about like the energy of stuff as well, and just like that heaviness of clutter, or having things that we could potentially sell or give away, where it is kind of spring cleaning time. And I do think that when it comes to items, they say when we're working on abundance to kind of like simplify, become more of a minimalist instead of going and buy more. It's, of course, we want to put forward and spend. However, collecting stuff can also be a sign where you might feel like there is a lack of flow as well, because it's good to actually give away items, sell items, again, for that energetic exchange. So I feel like somebody needed to hear that. So in the first masterclass, we did our ritual at the end. It felt a little bit rushed. So tonight we're not going to do a ritual because we already did that in the first one. And again, we did theta healing downloads on the energetics of, at the beginning, we did a little meditation grounding exercise so people could tune into kind of where they were and where they want to go, which is great. And then when they shared, I tuned into that for them. We discussed it. Some people came on and talked about it, which I really appreciated. And then I wanted to go into the numerology as well of the coins that we did with our ritual, but I was only able to really do that for one person. So again, when we actually get into the class, I'll be able to spend more time on each individual, which will be great. So we did theta healing downloads, again, just releasing the blocks, and everybody gets to piggyback on each other. And then I shifted the energy over to, again, in our meditations, like what we're revisualizing, what do we want to bring in, and we discuss some of that. So someone said that they just found the masterclass just so beneficial, just that portion of things. Someone else said that they're actually starting to apply the things that were discussed just to bring in more money, just little simple tools and techniques, which is fabulous. So I'm already, just hearing some more things that I feel like we need to hear and release. So just keep that in mind from a week-to-week basis. That's why we do it over 4 weeks. You're going to start to see a lot of changes. It's also going to change your mindset, which in an ideal world, you come into the class feeling stuck in some way, and then you have a breakthrough, and I get to hold you and have support, and the group that's with us can also hold support for you. Money is a very, very, very challenging topic for many people. A lot of people have a lot of loss around money because sometimes we lose items, sometimes we lose people. You might be one of the people that was saying in the masterclass that she always feels like she kind of breaks even, right? She doesn't have money, and she's not in the hole, kind of thing. And so if you even look at that as an example of I don't have money, that's a lack, right? So tonight what we're going to be working on, we didn't get a chance to do this in the first class either, but we're going to work on affirmations. And if you're in my spiritual support team, I did do a little video on affirmations, but it's really working on the energetics of positive thinking. I feel like the power of prayer as well, the power of intentions, and just reminding ourselves of what we're thinking about is what we're creating, okay? So if we're focusing on worry, that we're not going to have enough, worrying that we're not going to be able to retire, that energy is absolutely what we want to work on. So tonight it's going to be all about affirmations. In the first class, again, you can catch the replay if you want to, if you find that would be helpful for you. So we did the ritual and we just did theta healing. So tonight we're going to be working on the weekly energy. So I'm going to do a group energetic thing. So we're going to align with where in an ideal world where each individual is, and then also where we are as a group. And then when you're actually in the program, what we do is we're going to do more group goal setting so that on a week-to-week basis, we can come together and we can actually reflect and celebrate all the amazing things that have come in, but then also kind of do a little bit of a reset, check in again, which is amazing. So where I'm an intuitive and I read these cards and I do my psychic mediumship empath stuff, I'm able to really focus in on what each individual needs. And with the theta healing, you're really going to feel the power of the shifts, which is great. So we do have a new moon coming up on the 19th. Today is the 16th, so that's in 3 days. We're now in Taurus. Woohoo! So that's like a big, big thing with using your senses as well, this appreciation for life, this joy of living, and money and abundance is a big portion of the energy that we're in right now. So where we do have that new moon coming in, we're already starting to get into that manifestation vibe, those affirmations, and again, I'm really looking forward to sharing some of the rituals that I do. If you want to check some of those out, rituals and practices underneath my YouTube channel, you might want to start initiating some of those things for yourself and just see what starts coming in, okay? Feel free, guys, to watch my stuff underneath TikTok if you're not already there. I'm now able to do lives. I've done 2 lives. They were really hectic because I was really busy in those, and I'm not used to like the flying through thing, the people hopping on, people hopping off. I'm also underneath YouTube. That's like my favorite place to go now. So you can see videos, playlists, lives, and it's a nice way for me to kind of collect videos for you guys that are free as well. Okay, and then my membership group, during the new moons, I do theta healing, again, based on the emails, or just I feel into the energy of our membership people. So I'll do a ritual for you guys, or a guide you through that, whatever I feel like is going on that month. We'll discuss it just a little bit. You'll get the clearings and healings that will be helpful and supportive for you during times where we're going through new moon, full moon. So if you're a beginner, you get the new moon for 48 hours. I know this is a lot of information, but again, you can check it all out through horsemanreadings.com. That's where you can book for the free masterclass. And also, again, just read up on my blog as well if you're curious on a couple other things. I'm going to do my best to keep blogging, keep getting more information out for people based on astrology, etc. All right, guys. So I have free consults as well. So if this is just like, not interested, but I'm curious to know a bit more about some of the other things that you're going to be offering, I'll be doing a brief program in the future soon. So if you are working on like some heartbreak, or you're having a hard time shedding skin and layers because it's hard for you to change, it's hard for you to move forward because you don't want to let go of the old version of you, that's another component as well. Okay, so let's pull up some cards. That's a lot of blabbing. So tonight we're doing the weekly energy reading for our group, for the people that will be in the masterclass. Again, if you sign up, please attend. Otherwise, just cancel. It's helpful for me. Because this is my time that I'm giving for free. And again, we're talking about energy exchanges. Affirmations will be really important because we're working on like the power of prayer, law of attraction, positivity, things like that. And then of course we're going to do clearings and healings based on the things that are coming up for you energetically, whether you were already in the masterclass or just things that you have coming up with this new moon, or just like basic childhood stuff. We do work a lot on DNA, we work on past life, we work on your soul path as well, trusting that it is important that you're following your career path as well, because when money comes up, of course, work comes up, right? Like, are we just doing things for money, or are we doing the things that light us up? And that's really important, your why. Why do you want all of this stuff, right? Stuff. Okay. So this is what we need. Okay. So our theme card here, I'm just setting this intention that the messages that people need, that they get, okay, in relation to this masterclass, in relation to money blocks, the program, or anyone that just needs a little pick-me-up, okay? So the Emperor's card, Angel of Abundance, I kid you not, okay? This is like the only card that says abundance on it. So this is our theme card here. See how it's like pink and gold? This is really talking about the focus of love and money, because partnerships is going to be a big component to this program, because a lot of times when we're not satisfied in our lifestyle, we'll go and we'll spend money again, or we'll hoard things, stuff like that. And that's really coming up for someone in particular. It feels like, oh, if I have money, lots of money in my bank account, then I'll feel like safe, or I'll feel secure. If I have lots of money, I'll have lots of friends, right? If I have lots of money, fill in the blank. feel free to share in the comments. If I have lots of money, then blah. And it's almost like we'll get into that dissatisfaction. That was the thing that came up in the free masterclass #1. Contentment. That's almost like what everybody was working on, is just being happy with what they have, because we get into that mode of like, when this, I will be happy, right? And this is such a feminine energy. Often when we see this card, it talks about someone who bakes, someone who sews, someone who nurtures and loves, like, unconditionally. And although they might not have all the money in the world, they feel abundant and they feel rich because they are creative and they're resourceful. And that's another thing that comes up when I was sharing a lot in the masterclass about the podcast that I listened to. So make sure you check that out through my spiritual support team as well, because it's really that money is a beautiful energy that we get to have exchanges with people. And it's like the most magical thing. But there's a lot of heaviness and there's a lot of like hardship around money for people, because money is also masculine. And so what the Empress teaches us is to bring more love and bring more nurturing in when it comes to money. So it's being more generous, being more honest, and things like that. So that's what we're being called into, is having deeper conversations and helping more people out. Like doing these free master classes is beautiful, because I feel like I kind of want to do 4 free master classes so I can offer people insight for free, and then also people that want to go deeper can, right? So just remind yourself of that sometimes things aren't what they seem, I guess, and it's about trusting, okay? And that money, like when we think about assets, stuff, money, also assets are qualities that we also see in others: generosity, kindness, people who are really into paying it forward, people who get it, essentially. And that's what's giving me chills. So it took me a long time to talk about this, obviously, with all this introduction crap I was talking about, but now I feel like I'm like, okay, we're where we're supposed to be here with this, because that's what people are lacking, is that ability to just love from their heart with no expectations, right? Yes, I run a business, obviously. I'm an educator, and I like want to go in group settings to celebrate, but also understanding the exchange where there's time is energy as well. However, it's also learning about the investment in yourself as well, right? Sometimes we don't give back to ourselves enough. I find women are really bad for this. They tend to give more than they receive. And so that's another big thing that we're going to be working on, is learning how to receive and give back to ourselves. And it's not just about like your savings account, but again, investing in yourself is key, right? That self-care component. So how much time and energy are you really putting in to that power of prayer, as we were talking about, asking for things that are related to money? Sometimes people say, oh, it's not right to pray for money. No, I need to pray for like health, but not money. Well, we need money in order to be healthy, right? If we want to buy the education so that we can learn more about money. If we want to, there's tons of free stuff out there as well. But if we want to buy the fresher foods, the higher quality things, the more luxurious stuff, then absolutely we've got to understand the energetics of that, right? So it's about feeling worthy and deserving of having money, hanging on to money, trusting in the process of the flow of money and the energetic exchanges. And that's what just keeps giving me chills all over my back. I think there are people who really need to work on the flow of it and understanding the meaning and the spirituality behind money. Because when we feel sad about money, when we feel lonely about money, when we feel isolated about money, you know that heaviness that we get when we feel like we're drowning in debt. And this has been a big thing that I've had to work on with coaches, and I've invested a lot of money learning about this. And so I feel passionate about getting to discuss this topic and open up some of like my codes and secrets that have been helpful for me. I'm not perfect. I still have money blocks. I'm still sharing and exchanging this with you guys. I hear a lot about like, I'm not feeling abundant. I'm not feeling like rich, that sort of thing. And again, feeling, the emotions. So it's really important not just to understand those exchanges, but understanding the emotions behind it, because you can have all the money in the world and still feel super depressed and super down. So when we hear things like money can't buy happiness, somebody might laugh and say, oh yes it can. Money doesn't grow on trees, right? So muscle testing is another practice that we do with theta healing. So when we're going to feel into some affirmations such as I am rich. How do you feel when you say that, I am rich, right? Do you believe that? So we can like put our hand up to our heart and become neutral. Just taking a breath, just lining up your spine, relaxing our bodies. And my name is Robin. Then you can lean forward. My name is Dick. Back, right? Just finding a yes or no. Sometimes people will use a pendulum. They'll say, my name is Robin. Yes, my name is Robin. So one is like looser than the other. My name is Robin. My name is John. My name is Robin. My name is John. So this is just there. You can look up muscle testing. I don't fixate too much on it. Sometimes I write a yes down on a piece of paper or a no down on a piece of paper, and it's whatever like first instinct comes out. Kind of like when we're doing our multiple choice. Your first instinct is always right, but we'll overanalyze it. So that might be another thing that happens with you with money. Feel free to share. Or do you overthink money? Are you too spontaneous? Do you make really hasty decisions and you get yourself into trouble? That came up for someone where they feel like, well, I deserve to buy myself all of these nice things. But then they go through that high and low cycle of like, I deserve this. I'm worthy of this. So they go and overspend. And then they feel like they go into regret mode. And then they feel like they need to pinch their pennies. And then they go into deprivation. Right? So are you seeing the lack of balance there? And again, it's just lack of flow. That's it. Okay? I'm just writing that down. Flow, because it just feels like that's kind of tonight in our masterclass what we need to focus on. So I'm not surprised this card comes up. Okay. Five of Wands test. Okay, this is when nothing's working out in work or play. And it's just giving me lots of chills. So let me know if you relate to this, even if you're watching on the replay. If you feel like there are changes going on in your life that you're just having a hard time, like going out and enjoying yourself when it comes to money. Do you feel like you can't buy that wine, you can't buy that cheese, you can't buy that hamburger, whatever it is that gives you a little bit of pleasure? Do you feel like you can't afford it? Or do you feel like even when you spend it, you feel guilty? Maybe you have children at home and you feel like, although you feel like you're deserving and worthy of going out with friends and spending the $100, you feel like I'm taking away from my children, I'm taking away from my family. So a key thing here is it one night going out, spending your $100, enjoying that pleasurable time, socializing with friends, right? Or even going out with your partner and having a romantic dinner and keeping your relationship together. Is that really taking away from your kids if mom and dad are now rekindling their magic so that they can have a healthy, non-toxic relationship, that they can communicate maybe about finances, right? About where they stand, where each other stands emotionally, whether they're both happy in their, let's say, sex life. This just keeps coming up, that it's important to feel free, to feel open, because a lot of this, again, is mindset work. However, you might feel like literally you're spending what you don't have. So it is sometimes about thinking outside of the box and being creative. It's like, okay, can mom and dad still do these things in a less expensive way, such as going out into a nature park and actually going to the grocery store and having a beautiful picnic, which actually might be a better environment for having healthier conversations, because maybe there's some resentment, maybe there's some anger towards each other about money, and what they actually need is to be more grounded and come from a more loving space where each other is relaxed, right? So really what we start to realize is that it's not about how much we're spending. Again, it can just be who we're investing in, which ultimately is ourself, but it could be where if there are people we want to support, like a local business, because we like to know that we're feeding other people's families, right? Because there's an energy that can make you feel good of giving as well. Sometimes we don't always see where our money goes, but that's where control kind of comes up. I feel like there might be someone who feels like they're not getting ahead because they're always trying to control things. And again, flow keeps coming up because when we're trying to control our budget and things like that, we're actually like getting in our own way. We're creating our own money blocks, right? So this is where we start to work on visualization, right? That's part of the theta healing is when manifesting abundance, we start looking into the future. Okay, what is it that I really want? Do I want $10,000? Sure, let's manifest $10,000. But when I look into that, what am I doing with the $10,000? Why do I feel like I can't have that? What happened to me along the way where I felt like I wasn't deserving of receiving all this money, right? Or you might be like, I don't like money. I feel like money is evil, so I just never hang on to it, right? Do you see all the limiting beliefs that can come up with this? So the Magician card, Angel of Magic. Hope you're having a beautiful day. I do see someone watching. Feel free to say hello. The Magician card is beautiful. This talks about mentorship. So technically coming into this program or doing the master classes, you are doing a little bit of a mentorship because what you're doing is you're just kind of learning through someone else, right? But this really talks about, I don't know, just like learning the tools about rituals, learning the tools about things that we can start writing down or saying that can be helpful. Because a lot of times this is just, sometimes people think it's common sense, but at the same time, there's a lot of stuff going on under the unconscious or subconscious that we don't even know is there, and we're not taking the time to find out, right? So it could be a lot more simple than we realize. In the first masterclass, we talked about that we make things a lot more complicated than we realize, right? We, as humans, can be really emotional. We can be very sensitive about topics like this. And some people are an open book, like here's how much I have in my bank account, and I'm comfortable with that. And then other people, they're like, oh, I don't want people to know that I'm rich. Like they'll take advantage of me. Then they won't be my real friend, or then they'll expect me to pay all the time, right? Just stuff like that. And just raise your hand or write in the comments if you ever feel like you've been taken advantage of financially or ripped off, right? There's a lot of people who lack communication and they lack trust when it comes to money. So they're not talking about money in relationships, and also they're not sometimes comfortable asking for a raise. They might not be comfortable asking for a deal. I'm all about asking. If you don't ask, you don't get, right? But some people might consider it rude to ask for something for free or ask for a discount, something like that, right? So we have different ideas of what's right and what's wrong. So again, these are all things that we're going to discuss further, which I'm really looking forward to doing. Angel of Peace. Okay, this is kind of going back into that contentment aspect that was already discussed in our first class. And we were just talking about flow and things like that. A lot of times you get people who are more people, right? Again, I'll be happy when. So it's like, okay, that's great. Like I make $10 an hour now, but what I really want is to make $15 an hour. But maybe you were making $5 before. So at what point are you going to be happy and celebrate and reward yourself for where you're at? So a big thing is I find with money, obviously we want to be mindful, but it is important to celebrate the times in your life where you accomplished something or where somebody gave you something. So for instance, maybe you've gone on a trip. My husband and I just came back from a honeymoon that was paid for us, which I'm very grateful for. So if you're getting into that kind of like mindset of I don't have or nobody's helping me, that victim mode, we'll call it, that lower vibration, like bring the mindset back to you just had a free paid honeymoon. Like be grateful. Focus on that. Keep that energy moving, right? And we don't always have to give back to the people that gave to us, but it's about being aware that somebody did that for you, right? What can I do to uplift somebody else and do something kind? I also had somebody else pay for. Actually, I've had so many free trips, so it doesn't have to be about recently. But it is just even like just simple stuff. Like it's like I just get like even my mom buying my husband and I like our dishes when we first moved into our house, right? Like they weren't expensive dishes, but it doesn't matter. She bought us our dishes, and now every time I look at our dishes, which we cook a lot, I think of my mom. So there are memories in that for me, right? So it wouldn't matter if it was like a plastic bowl. I'm still like, oh, that's a thoughtful gesture. So think about that too. If you have any items, so our TV that we have over here, my husband's father, so my father-in-law, gave that to us, which is like again really really nice. Like that speaker that we have, like a really nice speaker here. My sister-in-law and her partner gave that to us for a wedding gift. Like I'm even again just bringing it all back into gratitude. I have my pyrite here, and I'm so grateful for my stones. I absolutely love my stones, and I know that they're just rocks, but they're like my favorite thing in the world. So again, hanging on to the items and appreciating the items that have been given to you. Keep in mind we don't have to keep things we don't like, even especially if we don't like them. But it's reminding ourselves of what we already have, right? And the things that you love. Keep the things that you love around you that remind you of people that you love, the relationships that you already have. And also reminding yourself that your social environment and your support system is also really important. So it might be a time to clear out other people in your life who are in a lack mindset as well. And what I mean by that is cutting cords with people who, energy cords with people who are like negative people who always say, I don't have enough money, I can't do this, blah, 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 all of that. Like, it's almost like a pity party. But keep in mind, guys, it's just their energetics of money at the time. They're not feeling in the flow. Again, it could be past related stuff. So the key thing here is we want to get back into understanding how to be more positive about money, how to come from my cup is full, starting to be grateful and looking at all the things you guys have. Okay, so wow, that was interesting. I didn't expect all that, but I hope there's a take home for you with this. Let me know if if there's something here that you felt like was valuable to you. And again, I'd love you to also share this out if you can, because it's a free class, and I appreciate people sharing this out onto their platform. If you don't, that's fine. Same thing if you've taken something out of this. Even you can write a review and say, I really enjoy Robin's free readings, whatever it is. Thank you, something like that, right? But it's all of these little energy exchanges. It's liking people's posts, right? It's telling somebody that they look beautiful today. Words are really powerful, right? It's not about money. It can be about sharing your kindness as well. Hi, Robin. Are you pulling cards? Yes, Monica. I can pull you up a card. Are you coming to my free masterclass tonight? Three of Pentacles. So this is really just about someone who, when it comes to money, is really feeling quite solid in the earth, which is great. But it's also someone who needs to continue to work hard, and also someone who needs to continue to spend hard. Okay? Spend hard, that's funny. But it's really just understanding that the more money you give, the more money that's going to come back. Okay, so if you drop $10,000 into a program for yourself, trust that you're going to get that back essentially times 10, right? So it doesn't always come back in like, okay, now I have $100,000, but it could be like to you as valuable as $100,000, right? Because abundance comes in different forms other than money. So it's really telling you to put forward even more, okay? Keep in mind, you don't have to drop $10,000, but it could be that you're investing $5,000 on a program, and then the other what I would consider another $5,000 worth of something is it could actually be, as I was already talking about earlier, donating things, giving away, buying people coffee in the drive-through, things like that. It makes us feel so good to give, right? Especially if we struggle with any type of anxiety and depression, the best way to work on that is by creating more of that flow and giving to other people, right? Kind words are really, really important. A lot of people, when they feel that lack, it's like, okay, but you are able to give people kindness, aren't you? Right? That's going to raise your vibration. When you raise your vibration, more opportunities will become. Got it. I do charities. Yes. So more, then I would say more of that, right? If you're already doing that, that's what this energy is speaking about. Because it feels like sometimes your work might drain you, or you feel like there's a lot of work ahead. The like the spending is actually what's going to uplift you. Okay, some people, it's different for everybody, but sometimes, like, if we have a shopping addiction when we can't afford it, that's like somebody having a gambling addiction, right? Like, there's too much forward and not enough getting back. But with this energy, it's talking about we're equally working. So it's important to reward ourselves and still be investing back into ourselves, okay? So that could be I went to the Sensi Spa with my mom for Mother's Day, Monica, and that's right beside your house. There were beautiful rituals there. There was a sound bath. They played some like Celine Dion, which my mom loves, with the essential oils. And I just felt like crying. It was just a really beautiful experience. So I feel like I spent $69 and it was like so worth the money. But it was like this energy exchange that I then went and like shared about that business to my friend Emily and her mom, and then started promoting the business because I had such a positive experience, right? And so sometimes it is just helping other businesses by word of mouth, right? I don't know. That's just what's coming up. So yeah, anyone that wants to share this video of that you think would benefit from it, or let them know about the free masterclass, I think there are a lot of people that could benefit from that. So I'm throwing it out there. I might do a couple more, as I was saying, just to keep more people in that energy. Yeah, because I think it'll be helpful for a lot of people. We are living in a really, really weird time where we know the cost of things is going like, woo, the cost of living. It's making it hard for some people to eat. So we've got people who can really afford all the amazing expensive things, and then we've got some people with 4 children, like a single mother, who can't afford to live anymore. So this is like not ideal, right? So being mindful of who we're putting our money into. Is it like the big corporations, or is it like the smaller businesses, or is it are you giving to charities where they already have tons of money, and then there are like places, we'll say like the food bank, or just like homeless shelters where maybe they don't get as much, right? It could be as simple as like diapers, pads for people that are older that can't afford pads, like simple stuff like that. So just, I think we're sometimes forgetting about like everything as a whole, right? That we're all here in it together and we're not separate. So a lot on my plate right now, but giving helps. Thanks, hon. What time is your class tonight? It's at 7 p.m. I just put the link in the comments. So it's over Zoom. It's going to be recorded for all my members in my membership group. So you can hide behind the camera, or and use chat, or you can show your face. You can talk about things, whatever you want. It's going to be a small group, which is nice. So we'll actually be able to do our weekly reading and still do some individual work. We're going to work on our affirmations and some theta healing. So thanks so much for being here, guys. 43 minutes. Holy moly. I hope you have an absolute beautiful day and a beautiful week. Take care.